Organized gang stalking. It's happening all over the United States. It's happening here in San Diego County. It's called organized gang stalking, and there is no law against it. The phenomenon was first noted by a German industrial psychologist, Dr. Heinz Lehmann. He noted that a group of people would target an individual to force the individual out of the workplace, and he called what they did mobbing. Authors Noah Zanali, Ruth Sisler-Schwartz, and Gail Purcell have described how it works in their book, Mobbing, USA Emotional Abuse in the Workplace. Whether taking place in the workplace or in the community, mobbing, as it is called when it happens in a workplace, or organized gang stalking, as it is called when it happens in the community, involves a kind of psychological torture, whose goal is to drive the target out or neutralize the target. In the community, it often works by sensitizing the target to a stimulus all of the organized gang stalkers use. The stimulus is often an everyday thing, for instance, the color red. The thing that makes the stimulus so aversive is the frequency with which it occurs. A group of 20 or 30 or 50 or more of organized gang stalkers might be involved in harassing the target, so the target is continuously harassed with the same stimulus, but by different individuals.
Here's a sample video of outdoors. Would be a good boy? Would be a good boy?
They used to call it a satellite voice transmitter, but these days it's known as remote neural monitoring. Well, wherever I go, I have this, let's call it a broadcast signal that is with me. If I go to a bus, sit on a bus, and someone has a cell phone, the next thing I know that this person will be able to hear slander on his phone. He'll probably start acting erratic, maybe a few taunts, all because this other person thinks he's God and is able to track onto this person's cell phone and spread slander. It's a hell of a technology, this remote neural monitoring, and it has a capability of reading a person's thoughts, tracking onto cell phones, headsets, televisions, any electronic device. As far as I know, this individual is able to track.
their every move.
Text to landline message. We are going to start coming every night. You just might not know when. We're looking at you.
They're watching us through our camera phone. And they're listening to us and recording us. We know that because they will record us and play it back as a voicemail.
Sound hard to believe? That's what the phone company claims. But security experts say that what Heather Kuykendall and her family have been going through really happens.
Clearly, we've established that it can happen because we've been talking about exactly this type of attack for about a year now.
Miller says the hackers are probably using computer programs known as snoopware, available to buy on the internet. Marketed as a tool to catch cheating spouses, illegal versions of this software can be used to hijack your cell phone and gain remote control of its applications, even if you've turned the power off.
Whether you're on a phone call or not, a snooper could activate the microphone and listen in on the conversation.
If you power down your cell phone, there's no way the government could ever hear you. Certainly not the FBI. It's turned off, right? Have we got news for you? All right, here's that cell phone story you've been waiting for. Cell phone users beware, Big Brother may be listening. The Federal Bureau of Investigation can now hear everything you say, even when the cell phone is turned off. I know it sounds kind of out there, but using your phone's tracking device, authorities can now activate the microphone inside the dreaded thing, allowing them to eavesdrop on you and your conversations. Serious business, and the FBI used this form of surveillance to keep tabs on critical conversations by people they call known members of the mafia. Experts say the only way around it is to take the battery out of effect.
Mind sciences, or the study of human behavior in relation to the mind. This is the newest of all the arts. It's less than 100 years old. And it is by far the one that is most cloaked in secrecy.
Origins of psychological warfare were in Nazi Germany. Nazi ideology has something that was called Weltanschauung, which means worldview warfare. The idea for them was imposing the Nazi worldview on the countries that they would occupy. The Americans picked up this idea, created an American version of it, called that psychological warfare. Psychological warfare, we're trying to understand the American approach to post-war efforts to control people's minds, both as individuals and as society.
Okay, folks, it looks like Senator Wyden, the U.S. Senator, and Senator Odell's office are investigating the claims of gang stalking victims and targets. People who feel that they're being attacked by electronic weapons, eavesdropping, other types of electronic surveillance, following, the targeted individuals who are having their constitutional rights violated by groups such as Community Watch, or like your town council, service organizations, church groups, any groups that are linked to the government, maybe receiving funds from the government under the Patriot Act. This senator kind of wants to investigate what's going on and how it's affecting Americans.
technological harassment refers to the use of technology to view, track, monitor, and harass a person near or from a distance. The technology may include audio and/or video surveillance, GPS trackers on vehicles, non-lethal weapons NLWs, directed energy weapons VEWs, and satellites. What is known as remote neural monitoring. Remote neural monitoring. Short description of the remote neural monitoring. Remote neural monitoring has the following capabilities. Tracking. Remote neural monitoring is able to lock onto a human being and track that person around. Mind reading. Remote neural monitoring is able to read that person's mind and give response, answer, or reply over TV or radio as to what you say or think privately to yourself. Assaults. Is able to hit that person with directed energy and is able to tap into all electronics, TVs, radios, police scanners, computers with voice morphing synthetic voices, and is able to say things over TVs, radios, and voice morph, clone or copy individuals' voices, then broadcast those voices over police scanners, and can imitate any actor's voice or any individual's voice over the TV and respond to what you are thinking or saying in that individual's voice. Capabilities of the remote neural monitoring. Thought mind reading, reading of thoughts remotely. Vision. See as in a camera, through the victim's eyes, to see what the victim is seeing. Hearing. Ability to hear and pick up what the victim is hearing. This is how illegal criminal human trafficking and racketeering operations are being criminally run with this remote neural monitoring technology, to profit off of unaware, unsuspecting victims. Speech and speaking. The remote neural monitoring has the ability to speak to the individual being targeted through speech, voice morphing, and interjections of speech into TVs, stereos, radios, scanners, and cellular phones. Speech and speaking. Ability to speak to the victim through the air, or send or broadcast voices or whispers around the target that can appear to come from anywhere. Directed energy assaults, from the remote neural monitoring satellite technology that may come in the form of shocks, jolts, jars, jabs, pokes, taps, stings, and burns. Control of sleep patterns, sleep deprivation done by directed energy assaults from this satellite technology. Computer-to-brain interface control and communication. Complex control of the brain, such as implanting thoughts, retrieving memories, and implanting personalities. Signs of being criminally targeted with remote neural monitoring. Having your thoughts read remotely. Feeling as if you are being watched. Having individuals engaged in organized stalking against you, dropping hints or conveying to you by actions that they can see you. Being targeted with organized stalking while you are being targeted with remote neural monitoring satellite technology. Organized stalking usually involves electronic technological harassment of some form that is going on at the same time, either ground or satellite-based. Electronic disturbances within your home, which may include thumping or popping noises on walls, TVs or appliances, light bulbs and TVs flickering. Microwave hearing, also known as voice to skull, V2K, which includes being forced to listen to audio harassment or voices, symptoms that mimics and appear to be mental illness, but is not mental illness. Persistent loud ringing in the ears, what is known as silent sound, fake tinnitus. This is common and frequently reported by targets and victims of organized stalking. Hearing tones, or tone bursts in the ears that may last anywhere from 5 to 10 seconds, that may change in volume and pitch. Transmission of specific commands into the subconscious mind. Visual disturbances, visual hallucinations. Injection of words, numbers, or information into brain via electromagnetic radiation or radio waves, or by the remote neural monitoring satellite technology. Being touched or tapped or hit by an invisible force, or having parts of your body suddenly moved, causing pain to any nerve of the body or to the body using directed energy from the remote neural monitoring satellite technology. Remote manipulation of human behavior, thoughts, or actions. Hearing voices or whispers that appear to come from different rooms of your home or the outside of your home. This is done by the remote neural monitoring. Hearing voices or speech interjected into your TV, police scanner, or car radio that responds to what you are thinking or saying privately to yourself. Strangers or family members engaged in organized stalking against the victim, repeating, relaying, or parroting back private things that you thought, did, or said while alone, or in private, using directed conversation. The individuals engaged in the organized stalking are being criminally given pieces and excerpts of the target's and victim's thought process to repeat or parrot back to the victim as constant harassment and psychological warfare. The remote neural monitoring is being used simultaneously with organized stalking to target, harass, and terrorize individuals by using the target and victim's thoughts, evoke thought potentials, brainwaves to direct and coordinate organized stalking criminal harassment activities against the target and victim. Example: if the victim is thinking of white snowy weather on a day that it is not snowing, the criminal or criminal organizers, who have been given illegal criminal access to the illegal thought-reading logs by means of cell phone or computer logs, is intentionally coordinating the organized stalking groups to flood the victim's area with coordinated white vehicles to psychologically harass and terrorize the target and victim. This psychological terroristic tactic is being done with any color, shape, numbers, themes, verbally, symbolic actions, gestures, etc. Remote neural monitoring quotes. I know from first-hand experience that remote neural monitoring is a reality. I have witnessed the operational capabilities of this technology, and they were later verified by an acquaintance. Along with mind reading, one of the most bizarre uses of a satellite is to physically assault someone. An electronic satellite beam, using far less energy than needed to blast nuclear missiles in flight, can slap or bludgeon someone on Earth. A satellite beam can also be locked onto a human target, with the victim being unable to evade the menace by running around or driving around, and can cause harm through application of pressure on, for example, one's head. Citizens are being illegally interrogated within their own homes, without ever being charged with a crime, as their Fourth Amendment rights are completely denied them. In the United States alone, thousands of people have already come forward to describe this technology and how it is being used to both illegally spy on them, while also manipulating their thoughts, as they are targeted for non-consensual human experimentation. Famous neuroscientist warns that remote neural monitoring equipment is far from being science fiction and can be used for control of behavior and brainwashing. There are several articles of information that has appeared on the internet regarding remote neural monitoring being portrayed as a crime-fighting and detection tool. Remote neural monitoring was not invented to detect criminal thought inside the mind or for investigations, nor does it have any place or serve any legit purpose in law enforcement. These articles appear to be an obvious attempt to legitimize and condition readers and the public to accept remote neural monitoring as a legitimate law enforcement tool, which it is not, just as organized stalking and harassment is not, and is completely the opposite, and is being criminally used simultaneously with organized stalking to violate, invade, harass and terrorize individuals for years at a time. Polygraphs have served the purpose, and are quite accurate of determining if someone is telling the truth regarding criminal activity. Also, if remote neural monitoring was to be used for that purpose, it would require a complicated warrant, despite the unlawful illegal criminal manner that it is being used on individuals without their consent and their permission. It is quite obvious that warrants are not being obtained, and that remote neural monitoring is being used to intentionally harass and terrorize individuals for years at a time, simultaneously with organized stalking and harassment.
Leslie Williams. I'm in San Diego, California. I'm a target of what is known as organized gang stalking. And organized gang stalking targets experience remote neural monitoring, remote neural influencing, and remote neural stimulating, electronic harassment, which is known as the microwave auditorium.